Hey guys, it's just me calling here at the end of day one. Hopefully what'll be the end of day one. Sun's starting to go down. It's about 7 o'clock at night, I think. My watch still tells me it's 10 after 10. The walk was pretty good today. I haven't met anybody yet. Crashed on the floor, but the night's still young. I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to continue to walk through Gettysburg here. I think I've put on about 22 miles so far and still going. What's actually hurting more than the feet and the legs is the shoulders from carrying this backpack, but I did make some improvements on it. Probably about 4 miles into the trip, the pain was really heavy from some of the stuff, so I jettisoned some things, had a friend come pick up the computer and some other things. So now I'm to one backpack, and it's much more manageable. I was able to really pick up the pace and go. A couple of stories from today that I think really will stand out for me on my first day, like 2 or 3 little things. One was the send-off. It was really great to see everybody there. Roger stepped up and gave a $500 donation, which I appreciate, and some of the friends that showed up completely appreciated and unexpected, and it meant a lot to me. I set off my journey to the song Come Sail Away by Styx, and that was special. New York Daily Record was there taking some pictures. I don't know what's going to happen with that, if it'll be on their print paper or if it'll be on their website or whatnot. The journey started, as I said, it was a tough first 4 miles because I had about another 15-20 pounds hanging off the back, and it was really tough. But when I was able to jettison some things and recalculate what I want to do, everything went smoothly from there. During the walk, a couple of things that I thought surprised me a little bit was, and maybe it's my Opie for Bayberry kind of mindset or outlook on this trip, but there was hardly any engagement as I'm walking down the highway. And then later in the day, I'm about to tell you another story, but I crossed the highway, and it dawned on me, at least for my personal benefit, I am actually going to start walking against the traffic, and that's actually beneficial for me for 2 things. One is, at least if I see somebody that's crossing the line or coming over, I'll be able to see it. And that's just I don't think anyone's doing that, but that's just for peace of mind. But the other thing is, it's hard for people to be indifferent at you when you look at them and make eye contact and nod or wave. When you're walking with your back to traffic, you lose that eye contact. It was almost a very impersonal first 6-7 hours today because there was no eye contact. And there were only a couple of people that I engaged with, homeowners and stuff like that. And that was a little discouraging, quite honestly, because I guess, again, I didn't know what to expect in this journey, but my phone just fell, my packaging here just fell down. My special little doohickey. I tell you, I'm terrible with technology. Anyway, so that was a little discouraging. But then the other thing I thought was interesting I wanted to share with you guys is I stopped at a thrift store for I want to say a church, and I said to myself, what better place for people that might understand humanity? They accept donations, they see needy people and help them out. So I stopped in, and before I did, outside in the car with these 2 women, and I kind of walked up to them and just dropped my backpack down and explained to them what I was doing on this journey. And they were very, very receptive, just like so many people are. And it was really nice. And the one woman even said, I thought about driving across the country. Maybe I'll do that and meet you up on the way or something. And, just conversation. And then I went back into the store, and I met the clerk, and you shot the clerk? I'm sorry, there's a My Cousin Vinny reference in there. Anyway, I met the clerk, and she said I should speak to the director. So she brought me back to the back office, and I met the director and explained to him what I was doing. And this gentleman was very, very mild-mannered. There was no judgment at all in his voice, but he stood up and shook my hand and heard what I was doing, and I explained to him. He said, how long are you going to be gone for? And I said, 5 months. He said, how old are your children? I told him. He said, well, where are they going to be? And I said, with their mom. And he said, look, forgive me for saying this. I'm not judging you in any way. He said, but you're going on a journey for humanity, and you're leaving your children for 5 months. How is that humane? And the truth of the matter is, the only detractors I get, that's their kind of one argument. Not that I left my job and not anything else. It's about the kids, and I respect that. I don't criticize him for that. And again, he wasn't being judgmental. I said, well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I've come to terms and peace with that. And I said, the reality is, twice in my life in the last 6 or 7 years, I had to be away for business for 5 months at a time, and nobody ever said a word about how my kids were suffering. You know, I was involved a parent then, as I will be this time. I'll be talking to them on the phone multiple times a day, as I already have. My kids are very close and tight with me. You know, clearly I'm not trying to say they're glad I'm away. They would love to have Dad home and spend the time with me. But again, my kids and I are very close, and we spoke about this, and I wouldn't have done this without their blessing, and they understand. And if they don't understand, at least they get why I'm doing it, you know. And as I said, you know, it's funny that the people in my life that say this would have no problem for the guy that makes $150,000 a year and travels over to Europe, and you know, he's away for 2 weeks on business. He comes home for 2 days. He's got conference calls he's on and things like that, and he's off again. But somehow that's different than what I'm doing and what I've done in the past. So that's where I kind of find somewhat, again, I'm not judging either. The people are entitled to their opinions, and I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. But here was somebody that I thought would absolutely be supportive, in the sense that, you know, yes, we see people down. In fact, I said, look, I'm trying to find a place to stay. If you know anybody that's a good story, that could use some recognition, that's done something positive in the community, you know, if you could let me know, that'd be great. And then this is where the conversation went. And then he said to me, after I told him what I did about the other jobs and being away from them previously, he said, so you don't think if you asked your 11-year-old if she wanted you home or on the road, that she would choose at home? And again, of course she would. I mean, any child would. I said, but at the same time, do you think that if I woke up today and said to my daughter, do you want Daddy to go to work for 8 hours? Do you want me to stay home with you? You don't think she'd say, stay home with me? So, I mean, there's got to be a practicality to the whole children thought process with it. And again, quite honestly, I'm completely at peace with where I am with my kids. We've talked 3 times today already. I love them. I saw them this morning before I left. I saw them yesterday before I left. Very emotional, don't get me wrong. But what greater gift, as I told this gentleman, you know, my daughter can graduate from high school in 7 years, and I could be at the high school graduation and she could say, yeah, my dad worked 2 jobs, and he got me horseback riding lessons, and he got me the coolest computer stuff, and I love him for that. Right? And that's not the worst thing that could be said about me. Or she can say, you know what, my dad had recognized that he was becoming a changed person. He didn't want me to become and see him in that way. He set off on this journey, and 5 months later he came back to me and was able to tell me, because of his own experiences, that you know, people really are good, or maybe they're not good, but he was able to tell me that he took it upon himself to go out and investigate and find this stuff out, and not just tell me but show me. I think for high school graduation, that'd be a pretty impressive gift, and something she could put on her college applications and resume. You know, that's something I got to experience, because she's experiencing this with me. So like I said, it's not that I was surprised by that mindset. Anybody that's been a detractor of what I'm doing, that's been the argument. I don't think anybody else could say, hey, you know, it's your life, do what you want to do with it. It's when you affect the kids that they're concerned. But then again, like I said, I explained what I explained and how I feel about it, and I'm at peace with it. But I just didn't quite expect it to come from somebody that's running a thrift store that's accepting donations from people to help other people in need. It just seems exactly what I'm doing. And anyway, that's where that went. So thanks for listening, guys. I love you. Grace, Kira, Landon. I don't know if you said I love you guys. Oh, the other things, a couple of things that came through tonight that struck me. So I'm walking through Gettysburg, and as you get towards Gettysburg proper, there's a bunch of car dealerships. And I guess they had some music playing outside the car dealerships for the lot attendants. As I was walking by, I had to laugh, because one of the songs that was on was The Dream Police by Cheap Trick. And a while ago I asked the question, if you're going to Desert Island for 1 year and can only bring 1 CD with you, what would it be? And one of our followers actually said The Dream Police by Cheap Trick. So I thought that was pretty ironic. And then lastly, I was really beat up from the walk, really parched, needed some water. I said, once I get to Gettysburg, I'm stopping in the first place I see. It happened to be a Ruby Tuesdays. The young bartender filled me up with the water and the soda. The GM was there. He talked to me, explained what I was doing, let me set up my phone charges and everything like that, so I'm able to make this video. And he said, look, do you have anything to eat? I said, look, if I eat anything, I might just have a salad bar. And he's like, well, if you do, it's on me. So he picked up my soda and my salad bar, and much appreciation and thanks to you, Jacob, for that. I was able to talk to a few people that were sitting there and explain what I was doing. Not any kind of great feedback, but you know, there are people reaching out. And there was another gentleman came in later, Nate, who was a pharmacist and is now doing something in the pharmacological industry, I guess. But he had given me a gift card to Ruby Tuesdays today. If you're ever back and go and see Ruby Tuesday, enjoy it on me. And you know, so that's now in my pocket. So just some really good things, some really good people. And I wanted to get back out here. It's a beautiful, beautiful night. The sun's starting to go down. I'm half hoping as I get into really the downtown area of Gettysburg, there's some people sitting out on their porches and stoops I can engage. The one thing I noticed during this trip is when I've talked to people about what I'm doing, I've gotten really just overwhelming support. But it's always been because I was in there doing something. I was shopping at Walmart, I was eating lunch, I was doing something, I was engaging people. It's a little different than walking up to a stranger in a parking lot and just saying, hey, by the way, can I tell you what I'm doing, and I'm writing a book, and can I crash on your floor tonight? So, you know, we'll see how it goes. I was prepared that there may be nights I have to, I may not catch somebody to sleep on the floor. And if tonight's the night, no need to worry, guys. I only sleep 2 or 3 hours. I've got my sleeping bag and everything accountable. But I think I'm going to be okay. I'm sure I'm going to meet some people about a mile up the road here and continue my walking journey. And I just wanted to update you guys on some of today's events and happenings. So thank you guys very much. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.